Anna here from Virgo. Um, Virgo, you have been doubting yourself, not loudly, not with the dramatic, visible uncertainty of someone who announces their confusion to the world. Quietly, in the private hours, in the specific, maddening, circular quality of a thought that keeps returning to the same question, regardless of how many times you attempt to resolve it. Did I imagine that? Was that real? Did they feel what I felt in that moment? Or was I projecting something onto a situation that was on their side entirely ordinary? You were not imagining it. Um, I want to say that again because I think you need to hear it more than once before it will actually land in the place it needs to land. The thing you felt in that moment or in those accumulated moments, in the specific quality of what passes between you and this person when the ordinary surface of interaction drops away and something more honest emerges underneath it. That thing was real, was being felt on both sides, was not a one directional current that you mistook for something mutual. Was mutual, is mutual, has been mutual for longer than either of you has been entirely comfortable acknowledging to yourselves, to each other, in the careful and self protective language of two people who feel the same thing and are both waiting for reasons that belong to the specific shape of their own fear for the other one to say it first. The number 222 carries something in the tradition of sacred numerology that I want to speak to before we go deeper, not because numbers determine outcomes, but because certain numbers appear with a frequency and a timing that functions as confirmation, as the universe's version of, yes, you are reading this correctly, keep going. 222 is the number of partnership of two energies that have been moving separately, beginning in the specific and mathematically precise way that alignment operates to occupy the same frequency of something that has been building in parallel on your side and on theirs, in your private interior and in theirs, without either of you fully knowing that the other was building the same thing, approaching the moment of convergence. The convergence is close. The 222 you keep seeing is not decoration. It is a coordinate. Soft sigh. Let me speak about the specific quality of what you both feel, because collective readings of this nature carry their power not in vagueness, but in the precision of what they name. And what I am feeling in the shared energy of you and this person tonight is precise enough to name with some accuracy what you feel when you are in their presence or in the orbit of their attention, even at a distance, even through the mediated contact of whatever channel you use to exist in each other's awareness, is a quality of aliveness that your ordinary days do not produce. A heightening, not the anxious heightening of excitement that has no foundation, the grounded kind. The kind that feels less like being lifted out of yourself and more like being more fully in yourself, more present, more clear, more aware of what you want and who you are and what matters, simply by virtue of their proximity. That quality, the way another person's presence can make you more rather than less yourself, is one of the rarest and most significant things available in human connection. Most connections even warm and genuinely good ones, ask something of you in terms of management. Require a subtle calibration of yourself for the other person's comfort. Produce a version of you that is slightly adjusted, slightly performed, slightly less than fully at ease. What this person produces in you is the opposite of that adjustment. An ease, the specific, uncommon, deeply recognizable ease of someone in whose presence you do not need to be anything other than what you are, and you produce exactly the same thing in them. That is the symmetry at the heart of this connection, the mutual ease, the mutual recognition, the mutual quality of being more fully oneself in each other's presence than in most other places. Now, let me speak about why, given that this is what you both feel, neither of you has yet said so directly. Because the question of why two people who feel the same thing have not yet spoken it is always more interesting than it first appears. And the answer in this case is not a simple one. It is not that the feeling is uncertain. The feeling, I want to be clear, is not the source of the hesitation. The feeling is clear on both sides, with a clarity that has been growing rather than fading, becoming more rather than less specific over time, more rather than less insistent in the moments when it is given any room to be what it is. The hesitation lives somewhere else entirely. In the specific and human fear of being the one who speaks first, of moving from the safety of mutual unspoken feeling into the exposed territory of mutual acknowledged feeling, which is a different country entirely, with different rules and different risks and different possibilities, all of which are more real and therefore more potentially consequential than anything available in the comfortable ambiguity of the current arrangement. Both of you are standing at the border of that country. Both of you have been standing there for longer than is comfortable. Both of you know, somewhere beneath the hesitation, that the border crossing is inevitable, that the feeling is too mutual and too sustained and too present to remain permanently unspoken, but neither has yet found the specific configuration of courage and timing and circumstance that makes the crossing feel possible rather than terrifying. That configuration may be assembling itself right now. In the invisible machinery of timing and readiness that governs these things, that determines when a moment that has been approaching for a long time finally arrives at the point of becoming an actual moment rather than a perpetual, almost moment, something is shifting in that machinery. A gear engaging that was not engaged before. A readiness reaching a threshold on one or both sides that brings the border crossing from the category of terrifying into the category of necessary. Necessary is different from terrifying. Necessary carries its own momentum, its own forward motion. The specific quality of something that has simply become unavoidable, not because external pressure demands it, but because the internal pressure of the unexpressed has finally exceeded the internal pressure of the fear of expressing it. Soft sigh. For some of you in this collective reading, the movement will come from them. They will find, perhaps through something that happened, perhaps through the simple accumulation of feeling that one day tips past the point of containment, the words or the gesture or the action that closes the distance between the unspoken and the spoken, And when it comes from them, it will arrive with the specific quality of something that was not easy, that cost them the particular and significant courage of someone who chose vulnerability over continued safety. Receive that courage with the full dignity it deserves. For others, the movement will come from you. And I want to speak to this possibility directly because I feel it in the energy of tonight's reading with a specificity that I think deserves acknowledgement. There is something in you that already knows it is time. That has been knowing it is time for longer than the hesitation, has been willing to act on the knowing. A part of you that is tired, not of the feeling, never of the feeling, but of the gap between the feeling and its expression, of living in a connection that is this real and this mutual and this present while simultaneously living in the silence around it. The silence has served its purpose. It gave both of you the time to be certain, more certain than people who speak too quickly ever become about the quality and the depth and the genuine durability of what you feel. But certainty, once achieved, does not require further silence to confirm it. It requires expression. The specific, courageous, completely unguaranteed act of taking what is certain on the inside and making it available on the outside, trusting that the mutuality you feel is real enough to survive being named. It is real enough. That is what I am here to tell you tonight, in the clearest possible terms, with the full weight of what I feel in the energy of this connection. What you sense on their side is not projection. What they sense on your side is not misreading. The resonance between you is genuine, felt clearly by both, carried by both, belonging equally to both, and it has been asking with increasing insistence to be acknowledged by both. 222 keeps appearing in your life because the universe has its own way of confirming what the heart already knows, but the mind keeps questioning. And what it is confirming with a consistency that should by now have quieted the questioning is this: you are not alone in what you feel. You have never been alone in what you feel. The feeling has always been, on both sides of the silence, present, patient, waiting with the quiet certainty of something that knows it is real and is simply waiting for the people carrying it to find each other in the full, spoken, no longer deniable way that what they carry deserves. Find each other not recklessly, not in a way that bypasses the honest navigation of what a connection of this quality requires, but find each other. Let the silence end in the specific and irreplaceable way that only honesty can end it. Let the feeling that has been mutual all along become mutual in the open between you, in the shared space of two people who finally stopped waiting for the other one to speak and simply spoke. The 222 was not a coincidence. The feeling was not imagined. And the person on the other side of the silence, feeling exactly what you feel, carrying exactly what you carry, standing at exactly the same border you are standing at, is as ready as you are for the crossing. Take the step or receive theirs when it comes. Either way, you are walking into something real, something mutual, something that has been earning its moment through the full and patient duration of everything that preceded it. The moment is here. Soft sigh. And so are you. Both of you. Finally, if this collective reading found you exactly where you needed to be found tonight, if something here confirmed what you have been feeling and questioning and carrying in the silence, stay close, subscribe, and come back. Because the story of two people who feel the same thing finally finding the courage to say so is one worth witnessing all the way through. And the next reading will be there for every step of what comes after the silence ends.